This is Firefighter Valdez from 9370 Charlie from Ventura County Fire Department, helping Riverside County, and you're watching
Report on Conditions.
On today's episode of Report on Conditions, we'll take you to the volcano fire that burned in the community of La Cresta. And we have the honor of showcasing a patient reunion in Lake Elsinore.
Engine 1 with Report on Conditions.
Hey everyone, I'm Maggie Klein de la Rosa. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Report on Conditions. Let's start this week's rock with a look at a reunion that occurred between a patient and his rescuers in Lake Elsinore. One ordinary day at work changed everything. In an instant, a man collapsed into cardiac arrest, and the fight to save his life began.
My name is Michael Locke. I live in Lake Elsinore, California. I actually don't remember the day at all. I know I was at work and I just went up to my boss and I said I just wasn't feeling good. I didn't feel very good, and that was it. I guess he says he walked away to go do something, and then I guess I went down and a gal by the name of Elizabeth found me and just screamed. Gabriel was in the store buying something for his plumbing needs, which is great, and he heard the scream and came running and started CPR and saved my life. Can't thank him enough.
Oh, I was actually, I believe, on my third trip to Lowe's. When I was walking back to the plumbing section, I actually heard someone scream, like, oh my God, someone called 911. Poked my head around the aisle and I saw Mr. Locke laying down on the floor with some cyanosis to his face, and he was not breathing. I checked for a pulse and found him to be pulseless and apneic, and just started CPR right there. So I directed the employees to grab an AED. Running through my head was just getting the AED on him, making sure that we have some good chest compressions going until we had a good fire crew there that could mitigate that.
Moments later, CAL FIRE, Riverside County Fire Department firefighter paramedics, and American Medical Response took over, each becoming a vital link in the chain of survival.
When I showed up on scene, there was the other couple of medics that were also there, and we all just went to work. All of them were like, hey, I got IV medications. I have airway. I'm gonna do CPR. We're gonna take care of the EKG right here. We all knew what to do, and we were all able to actually delegate and do something ALS advanced techniques and actually piggyback ideas off us, and it went by pretty smooth.
Against the odds, that coordinated effort gave one patient something extraordinary, a second chance. This is the story of the people who answered the call, the teamwork that made the difference, and the life that was saved. This incredible outcome is a reminder that survival is possible when bystanders, first responders, and healthcare teams work together.
I'm most grateful for you guys giving me a second chance at telling my wife I love her, of giving her a hug, a second chance of just talking to the family. I just look at everybody different now, you know? I just look at everybody and think, man, I'm a lucky guy.
Do you know what evacuation zone you live in? Knowing your zone could be the key to keeping you and your family safe during a wildfire or emergency. Head over to rbcfire.org and click on the link to search your evacuation zone. Once there, you can enter your address into the search bar at the top left of the page on a computer or at the top of the screen on a mobile device. This will take you directly to your zone on the map. It is important to note your evacuation zone, as this information will be used during emergencies to notify you of changes in evacuation status. During an emergency, your evacuation zone could change to an evacuation warning or an evacuation order depending on the threat level in your area. An evacuation warning means it's time to get ready to leave. It gives those needing extra time a chance to make necessary arrangements. When an evacuation order is issued, it's time to leave immediately. Don't wait until it's too late. Be prepared now. Stay informed by signing up for evacuation alerts at rivcoready.org. You'll receive real-time updates sent directly to your phone, helping you stay one step ahead in an emergency. Remember, preparedness starts now. Know your evacuation zone, have a plan, and stay ready.
From June 29th through July 12th, 2026, your firefighters responded to a total of 8,128 calls for service, of which 6,035 were medical emergencies and 367 were fire-related calls. On Independence Day, your firefighters responded to 698 incidents in total, with 83 being fires. Let's check out what some of these incidents looked like. On Friday, July 3rd, firefighters were dispatched to a residential structure fire in the 80,800 block of Mary Lane in the city of Indio. The first arriving unit reported an RV to the rear of the structure burning with multiple exposures and requested additional engines. Quick work from firefighters contained the fire to the RV with minimal damage to the structures nearby. Thankfully, no residents were displaced and there were no injuries to firefighters or civilians. Fire personnel were committed for about 2 hours working on overhaul, and Indio's Building and Safety Division were notified to respond and inspect the residents for any damage. On Tuesday, July 7th, firefighters responded to multiple reports of vegetation burning near the intersection of Via Volcano and Tanaha Road in the community of La Cresta. The first arriving company officer reported approximately 5 acres burning in medium vegetation with a moderate rate of spread. Based on initial fire conditions, additional resources, including aircraft, engines, and hand crews, were requested to support suppression efforts. Evacuation orders and warnings were implemented in and around the fire perimeter as the fire continued to grow. A no divert was put into place for all aircraft due to the imminent life threat. An intel flight mapped the fire at 138 acres, and firefighters worked around the clock to establish and strengthen hose lays and containment lines. As of this airing, the fire is 95% contained, and firefighters continue their work on suppression repair. One firefighter suffered a minor injury and was treated and released at a local hospital. There were no injuries to civilians. On Thursday, July 9th, around 3:45 in the afternoon, 911 dispatchers received multiple emergency calls reporting a fire near Pacific Bluff Street and Brentworth Street in the city of Menifee, and a response was initiated. The first arriving engine reported 2 to 3 acres burning at a moderate rate of spread with an immediate structure threat and requested multiple additional resources. Firefighters in the air and on the ground made great progress on hose lays, retardant, and water drops, and were able to quickly contain the fire to 31 acres with no structures damaged or destroyed. The fire was fully contained on the morning of Friday, July 10th, with no injuries to civilians or firefighters. On Friday, July 10th at around 6 a.m., firefighters were dispatched to a reported traffic collision near the intersection of Gilman Springs Road and Eden Hot Springs Road in the community of Lakeview. The first arriving engine company officer reported 2 vehicles involved in a head-on collision with major damage and a patient requiring extrication. Using the jaws of life, firefighters were able to remove the trapped party. A total of 2 patients, both with moderate injuries, were transported to area hospitals for further evaluation and treatment. The incident was turned over to California Highway Patrol for investigation. We'd like to congratulate the following individuals on their promotions and retirements. Congratulations, everyone. That's all for this week's Report on Conditions. Follow your firefighters in action on our social media at CalFireRRU and stay up to date on incidents happening countywide. If you caught any great footage of our firefighters at work or out in the community, send them to us at rrupio@fire.ca.gov. On behalf of your Public Affairs and Community Education Bureau, I'm Maggie Klein De La Rosa. Thanks for watching.